You know, since we started the breakfast, I've always wanted to make it a brunch so we could do it a little bit later in the morning when I'm awake.
This is one of my best things about Point, you know, the breakfast, sitting down with the rest of you, eating a wonderful meal, but also sharing conversation, you know, beautiful conversation with everyone. So important to me. So today is very special. And of course, we're experiencing a different type, and we're going to have a different kind of treat, right, Steve?
Well, we're talking about bringing people in from about 30 different organizations to this morning. So it's a very special day.
Joining us. Hi, Jason. Okay. Nice to have you on. Nice to
All right. It's 8:04. What do you think?
It's your call, President.
All right. We know that more people are joining in. So hello, everyone. It's wonderful to see everyone. And want to welcome you all to the Harmony Breakfast. This day was first introduced by King Abdullah II, the second of Jordan, on September 23rd of 2010, and ever since the first week of February has been designated as the World Interfaith Harmony Week. And as Interfaith, we know that we are about inclusivity, and especially this year is very special. We want to promote inclusivity in everything that we do, everything that our group, our congregation, our faith, you know, teaches, and also bring others, other faiths, other groups, other affiliations into our bond, our friendship.
The only one with the scarf on.
So we're very happy to have everyone here, including this with us, including this vision of world inclusivity. So we're going to have an opening prayer by Carolyn Reynolds. Then we have a short introduction of the World Interfaith, again by Dr. Steve Albert. Short message of inclusivity by Reverend Michelle Nichols, and then we're going to break into our individualized groups, and we're going to discuss issues such as what is ours to do in our workplace, organization, and faith communities. After the 15 minutes, we come back to the large group and share our ideas and what we have learned. And we'll try to wrap everything up and close at around 9 o'clock. I know that it might go a little over, but we should be okay. So it's wonderful to have all of you. Again, my name is Mehran Irfani. I'm the president of the Point Poway Interfaith Team. I would like to introduce you the board, which includes Dr. Abigail Albert. Vice President is Carol Morales. We have, I do apologize for that. We have the secretary, head of site, and we have our treasurer, Robert Ingert. Again, I do apologize for the sound in background. So I would like to start with our opening prayer and silence myself. Take it away, Carolyn. Thank you so much. Oh, before that, we have some housekeeping rules. Our former president and our very beloved friend, Sherry, is going to talk about it. Thank you so much.
Good morning, everyone. Nice to see you all, and thanks for the introduction, Medan. This is a prayer for America from the Baha'i Faith. O thou kind Lord, this gathering is turning to thee. These hearts are radiant with thy love. These minds and spirits are exhilarated by the message of thy glad tidings. O God, let this American democracy become glorious in spiritual degrees, even as it has aspired to material degrees, and render this just government victorious. Confirm this revered nation to upraise the standard of the oneness of humanity, to promulgate the most great peace, to become thereby most glorious and praiseworthy among all the nations of the world. O God, this American nation is worthy of thy favors and is deserving of thy mercy. Make it precious and near to thee through thy bounty and bestowal. Abdul Baha.
Amen.
Okay.
Jerry, did you
Thank
want to
you
go
so
over
much.
some of the ground rules?
Yes, we have Sherry go over some housekeeping rules. Thank you so much.
I know our Zoom keeping rules, I guess, for today. But these are just some things to help it go very, a little more smoothly. When we're in the whole room and you're not the presenter, please mute yourself to decrease any distractions. There'll be time, of course, you'll unmute yourself in our breakout rooms and after our closing prayer, for some social times and things. It may be best when we're in a whole room together like this, if you go to view and do speaker view, so that way you can see the speaker larger on your screen. If you prefer gallery view the whole time, that's fine. Small groups gallery view is usually preferred. If you're having any difficulties, feel free to use the chat feature and you can send a private message to me and I'll do my best to help you through it. That's it. Enjoy.
All right. I think that leaves it up to me, and I am so excited about being here this morning, even though it's much too early for me to be awake. We have done this Harmony Breakfast, which is the kind of the sister operation to Interfaith Awareness Week, which will happen in 6 months. So both operations happen internationally. There may be people coming on board even this morning or later on when we record this and show it all over the world. But we wanted to make sure that you knew that this is not a place for just talking heads. We want to find out who you are, why you're here, where you come from, how inclusivity can become a major factor in all of our lives. And what's really special today is that we've tried very deeply to incorporate this as a breakfast. I know some of you have already eaten, but if you haven't, we have a menu here that includes beverages, fruits, drinks. We have more coffee, please. We have so much coffee. Please drink the coffee. We have some special dishes that I think some of you are just going to love. Some are vegans, some are special to particular faiths. And just to let you know, we're talking about people here that are from Well, there's Jeff from Jailbreak Leadership. We have people from the Poway Interfaith School District, Unified School District, the Anti-Defamation League, Congressman Scott Peters' office, Charter for Compassion, the Compassionate San Diego Youth Ambassador, I think is here, San Diego Ministerial Association, the Brahmin Community, Interfaith Worker Justice, Hands of Peace, Muslims Against Trafficking, Racial Justice Coalition. I mean, people are coming from all over the place just to have breakfast with you. So when you do get into your breakfast tables, we're not going to divide you into groups. We're going to divide you into tables where you can sit together and enjoy the food. And the food is going to look like this. Help yourself over and over. Now, the important thing to realize is that if you mention in your group Harmony Breakfast, you get 20% off the cost. But if you mention inclusivity, the food's free. So have as much as you want, enjoy it. It'll be here the whole time we're talking and interacting. And I want to make sure that you get enough to eat, because if not, I have to end up eating the rest of this. So I appreciate you really helping me out that way. So now I get the honor of introducing my great friend, my wonderful friend, Reverend Michelle Ingalls, who is the Senior Minister of One Heart, One Mind Centers for Spiritual Living in Poway. And Michelle's going to lead us into what we're going to be discussing the rest of the morning. Michelle, it's all up to you.
It's all up to me. Such a responsibility. Good morning, everybody, and thank you for that warm welcome, Steve. I appreciate that. And yes, Steve is a very dear friend, and I love being a part of Point. And I think this is the third or fourth time that I've had the honor of speaking at the Harmony Breakfast, and I'm sure that we'll all be well fed as usual, even though we're online. So last year, I would never have predicted that we'd be having our Harmony Breakfast online this year. So a year ago, I thought the pandemic would surely be over by summer. I was thinking summer of 2020, not 2021, but we'll take 2021. It's certainly been an interesting ride, hasn't it? So I'd like to start off this morning by asking you a question. You don't have to share it with anyone, just answer this for yourself. So I'm curious, when you speak to your friends and your family, and the conversation, on the phone, because we don't see each other in person anymore, and the conversation turns to the COVID pandemic, do you speak mostly about the hardships that the pandemic has caused us? And be honest with yourself. If you're anything like me, and you probably are, you're talking with people about all the difficulties that we've experienced together, kids not being able to go to school, lost jobs and income, no celebrations or gatherings, no restaurants, kids not being able to go to school, which I said already, no in-person religious services. And probably most of us either know someone who has had the disease and recovered, or we know someone who has lost their life to this disease. And and I don't mean to trivialize any of these things. They've caused a lot of pain and suffering in our life. I understand that. But I would like to invite us to look at the pandemic in a different way. I'm going to invite us to ask the question, rather than what hardships we have gone through during this past year, what opportunities has the pandemic given us? Because I believe there are many, many different opportunities have arisen for us. First and foremost, we're dealing with a virus that does not care who we are, how much money we make, what our zip code is, what color our skin is, what our gender is, what religious tradition we practice, or anything else. It is honestly the great equalizer. I'm not saying that all of our experiences are the same. They're not. We're in different situations. But it is my personal belief, and you may or may not share this belief with me, that anything that needs to be healed within us, whether it's individually or collectively, it will rise up and show itself to us so that we can course correct, so that we can make changes and move forward and grow. Even events and situations and circumstances that are the most challenging can be used for the highest good. I believe that everything is designed to draw us into a deeper relationship with the divine presence within us. And it's a call for us to think and feel and act from that relationship, from kindness, from compassion, love, and the generosity of spirit of the divine presence itself, whatever you conceive that to be. I believe that always, that presence always uses every situation for our growth, our expansion, and even our enlightenment. And I also believe that we've been given an opportunity through this pandemic to come together in ways that we would never have come together before. Look how we've used technology to find ways to come together. You know, we've been given this unique opportunity, I believe, an opening to ask deeper questions about what kind of world we want to live in, to examine our values, and to let go of any old perceptions that we've been hanging on to that no longer serve us or the common good of humanity. You know, it's an opportunity to release any old perceptions that we see other people as different or other. And sometimes these perceptions are so entrained in us that we don't even realize that we have them. But now we're called to wake up and to become aware, to shake off any old perceptions and look on as the wise observer, you know, without judgment or blame or commentary laid upon whatever it is we see. Have you ever tried to look into a car window on a bright sunny day? You know, when you first look at the window, all you can see is your own reflection. That's all you see. You just see you. You can't even see into the car. But if you deliberately refocus your gaze, you can adjust your vision to actually see inside the car. And that's what I believe we are called to do now, to readjust our gaze, to refocus our view and see more deeply into our own hearts and into the hearts of anyone that we've ever thought of or treated like the other for any reason, or anyone who we think has seen us as the other. Now, I have to confess, sometimes I'm deeply troubled when I look around and I hear and I see evidence of such division in the world. I mean, we'd have to be blind not to see it. You know, I get frustrated and concerned about the fervor and the rancor of people who are so certain that they are right, who don't seem to be able to soften and to see that we really want the same things. All of us really want the same things in life, to love, to be loved, to have security and safety for ourselves and our families. And I get frustrated when I see people pushing up against each other in this futile attempt to find some kind of peace or common ground, you know, and it challenges us because we all care about certain issues. I know I certainly do, and I know most of you do as well. And I believe that most of us want to follow the guidance of love from that divine presence that's within us, the guidance of our loving values and ethics. But we also want to speak out and take action on issues that we feel deeply about. But here's the challenge. The challenge is, and I've seen this happen so many times, in taking action, in doing what we believe is right, we can often get pulled down in to the same energy of the right fighting and the conflict that we don't want to see. And we end up making those who we don't agree with, who we are trying to relate to from love and caring, we start seeing them as the other. And it can create this great divide of separation and fear, which is exactly what we say we don't want. You know, and there's another thing that I've seen us do. And maybe you've fallen into this trap. I know I certainly have. We fall into the trap of trying to fix what's wrong, rather than learning from our past and casting a new vision for what we do want to see in the world. It's an illusion to believe that we can fix what's wrong with the world. We can't fix what is wrong, but we can learn from it, and we can create a world that we do want to live in. Certainly we can look at the lessons of the past, but our challenge is to create something new now. You know, Dr. Joe Dispenza says that the best way to predict your future is to create it. And I really believe that's true. If humanity, if we, because we are humanity, continue to be grounded in fear and separation, how can we ever create a world based on oneness and love? And I think this is the opportunity that lies before us right now. And it's not just theoretical. It's not off there in the future somewhere. This is the choice we have right before us right now, to explore ways that we can speak up about issues that matter to us, and at the same time, doing it without making anyone else wrong or vilifying anyone else. We can practice, I believe this is true, a new way of engaging with people, no matter how we've engaged with them before. And we can do it in whatever situation or circumstances we find ourselves in right now. I believe there's a way to create change and to, at the same time, keep from getting pulled down into that energy of conflict and right fighting. We don't have to be there anymore. And I am under absolutely no illusion that this will be an easy thing to do. It will take a lot of disciplined maturity and openness on our part. And you know what? It's going to take courage, because there are times when the defensiveness is going to rise up in us. I know it happens to me. When I want to see what's wrong in the world, rather than stop and ask myself, what can I bring to this situation right here and right now that will support a deeper understanding and a way forward? What can I bring? What am I empowered to bring to create a world that truly works for everyone, where no one is left out? So what will you do in your life today, not tomorrow, today, to create this new evolutionary vision of the world that it works for everyone? And I truly believe that the possibilities are absolutely endless. And that is our challenge. That is the world that we can decide to create together. Thank you. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to do anything, Steve.
Thank you so much. It is wonderful. And everyone, please remember what was said. Michelle spoke of many things, and this is so refreshing. So everyone, please listen and remember what was said as we go into our groups and discuss this question: what we can do or what we are supposed to do in our organization or faith communities to bring about this change, this transformation. Now we turn everything over to our beloved host and my dear friend Sherry, So to put us into different groups and we can go about discussing. Thank you.
So please accept your invitation to go into your breakout group.
Alrighty, welcome back. People are starting to come back. Oh, well,
Everyone will
Sherry,
be here shortly.
we had a wonderful discussion, a lot of ideas, and some things that I think I would love to hear about. So it would be a great chance for everyone to share their insights on what they learned in their groups. Thank you. Alrighty. I think we're all coming in. Okay, everyone is here. Well, hello everyone. Welcome back again. How do you feel? Feel good? Sharing in your groups? I know that I learned so much. Oh my God, yes. All right, so we're in group 1, so everyone can contribute and share your ideas, or if you have someone that is reporting for your group, you can do so. Joanna, we're going to start with talking about our groups and what you're doing, because I think that's very important, something that we want to also take heart and remember, try to help your activities and what you're doing. You can go ahead. Thank you.
So we were group 1, and I will give a small piece of feedback from the perspective of the school district. And I see Mercedes is here as well, so she can jump right in. Last year, our school district passed a board resolution giving our district some resources and authority to dismantle systemic racism within our district. And it's a huge, heavy lift for our district, but they're taking it very seriously and are already making great progress. So one of the pieces of that effort is to introduce ethnic studies and ethnic literature curriculum for our high school students, actually specific courses. And there will be an opportunity at some point, I believe, Mercedes, is that correct, for community members to take a look at the curriculum. And I would love to be able to have that shared out and have everyone able to preview that as it goes out to our students. So we're really excited about that work. It's happening at our schools. It's not just at high school, it's going to happen at every grade level. It's a lot of effort though, so we're training teachers to be able to take that on. We're also looking at hiring more diverse staff, and looking at our discipline policies as well as our opportunities for all of our students. It's something that was a long time coming, and we're very proud of our work, and we're as a board member and as our board, we recognize that it's a heavy lift for our staff, and we're doing all that we can to support and encourage that work. Mercedes, did you want to add anything?
Just super proud of the work that we're doing. I think one other component of that is when we're talking about listening to each other and building community, we have been embarking on several evenings by kind of school feeder pattern, and really kind of doing just to listen to what our community is telling us about their experiences. And so that I think has also been super impactful to have the diversity of perspectives in the room and really to honor the voices. But yeah, thanks to our board and all the work that's we've been doing. Super proud for our community and for our children.
If I can add one little thing, Darshana, I assume that you probably know that the Poway Interfaith Team has offered to to bring people in to discuss different faiths. And we would be happy to create a panel of people or an evening event to open up the idea of interfaith activities within a high school or a junior high, whatever it might be. So that is always an open door to you.
Thank you for that. I'll bring that back to our superintendent and see what we can do. As you know, there is a separation of church and state. So I don't know that we could introduce it as curriculum, but as opportunities through clubs. I know we have faith-based clubs on our high school campuses, as well as evening activities would be, that would be a great fit. And we could possibly find a way to bring that in. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much. Aside from that, there's also a discussion about how we can have the kids be involved in the field trips and going to different church groups or different mosques to learn about those faiths. I remember when I was going to high school, we wanted to learn the Native Americans, so there was a Peace Bus 1991 that just shows you how old I am. But anyways, as high school, we went in Canada, we went to the Native communities in East Coast, and it was so refreshing. We learned so much. All right, I will shut up now and we'll go to the next contributing group, maybe group 2. Does anybody else want to contribute from that group or any other groups? You can go ahead.
Gary?
I don't know what group I am in, so that's why I'm waiting to.
We're group 2, and we're kind of pointing at each other. We're so kind. I was with Jason and Kelsey, and I'm so deeply moved by what we're creating here this morning. This is a fluid, organic process, and it just gets richer and deeper every time someone shares. And it's also opening us up in our group. We talked about, what's next, and there was a big blank space, to step into. And the commonalities that we have in our group is that we are advocates in the schools and through the legal realms to forward inclusivity around interfaith awareness. And I also shared about my project, which is spiritual diversity in education. And I want to make sure I represent my other 2 colleagues, because your work is so important, what you're doing. So maybe I'll just share briefly and then you guys can introduce yourselves too. So spiritual diversity in education is a workshop I've been providing as professional development in San Diego Unified since 2013. I train teachers, administrators, students, parents, families in conversations about our spiritual essence. We do talk about our different belief systems, religions, concepts, and it's a way to raise the conversation on spirituality the way that we have with differently abled and different gender preferences. And the last thing I'll say is to support bringing interfaith awareness and point into Poway is that's so interesting. Creating access for this conversation is a way to have those voices that are invisible to become visible. And that the spirituality piece ties into the socio-emotional and bringing this deeper aspect of our human self into the conversations in a way that's inclusive for atheists and agnostics and the other more underrepresented groups. I'll just say that, you know, everyone has a right to believe and to even believe in not believing. And this is the group to do that. So I'm looking for help to take my program online and would love to do Zoom calls with each of you individually or in your organizations to kind of, you know, talk more about the process. So if I can, you know, be a stand for why it's time to bring this into our schools, yeah. So Jason and Kelsey have been doing the work as well and in their own ways. So you guys want to jump in?
Jason, what do you got?
I am. For those that don't know, my name is Jason Bergovich. I work for Congressman Peters. I know we had a really good discussion about highlighting the positive aspects of spirituality and faith. I think oftentimes we'll get caught up in some of the negative things and it becomes a downward spiral. But if you look at faith, all faith, or even spirituality, really it's about caring for one's neighbor. It's about truth. It's about honesty. It's about helping each other. It's about hope, which I think is important. It's about building a better future. So for me, it was really impactful. It's always impactful listening to Kelsey and getting to know Deborah, because it's a way for us to highlight the positives that are out there. And that's one thing that we often try to remind people. And I know the Congressman always places a priority on is we should really be focusing on the positives that are out there, no matter how bad one feels that things are going. Even a little grain of positivity can go a long way. It's like they say, when you're walking down the street and you simply say hi to a stranger, or just by making a smile, there's a way psychologically, emotionally that can improve somebody's day. And for example, being on a Zoom, I like seeing everybody's faces and I like seeing everyone smile. So I encourage people to turn their cameras on when bandwidth permits. So those are the little things make a big difference, especially nowadays. And I think that's a message that can go a long way right now.
Love it. Kelsey, what you doing?
I don't want to take up too much time because I think we were supposed to be summarizing, but I'll just add to what Jason and Deborah said and saying that one of the things we talked about is just the fact that even while we are focusing on this positive and focusing on all the good, we also do have to recognize the inequities that are out there. I use the analogy that we're all in the same storm together, but some of us are on little tiny boats and some of us are on yachts. And so what can we do as an interfaith group? What can we do with people who represent a lot of groups to make sure we are uplifting those who are not actually on that same playing field, even as it relates to, you know, vaccines and stuff like that. So I'm going to leave it for there.
Wow, that was quick.
All right, Steve, you want to go forward to group 3 and see what they say? Who's in group 3?
I think we were in group with Dale, Suggs, it was Lucy and Michelle. So Dale, did you want to summarize or do you want us to just say something quickly? It'd be nice to summarize if you have it, otherwise we'll have somebody jump in.
I'm not sure that I am where I can really summarize. We had some interesting thought about how we show up for one another, one-on-one, building relationships, learning how to be with one another, to be able to see, hear, hold different perspectives, different ways of being in the world, and that as we are able to better relate to each other one-on-one, inclusivity is more of a human-to-human encounter rather than a my versus you encounter, or my way of being versus your way of being. You know, honestly, I'm going to let the rest of the group jump in from there. I was having so much fun just listening to the conversation that I didn't take notes. So
You're a true listener, Dale. Thank you.
Well, I think he kind of got it, don't you, Abigail? I think you
do.
kind of, we were
do.
talking about just that, relating individual to individual and how that leads to a larger group to group, organization to organization relationship. So
Right.
yeah, it was perfect.
And I enjoyed talking with Mercedes because I feel like some of my wider vision for Point, I can maybe work with her a little bit with the students, because one of my visions is to bring more youth in. So it was a lovely connection that I'm feeling with our group and with Mercedes. So this is all part of the vision, the connections, and so you get to step off from where you are. So thank you, Mercedes, for your connection here. Bring in the youth.
I know that we are at our 9 o'clock closing time, but we are having so much fun. And if you have to go, please don't feel obliged to stay, but we'd love for you to stay and continue the conversation. In addition, we want, especially for our guests, to include your email addresses in the chat so that we can communicate and correspond with you, give you more updates, and share in all your activities, especially this year that we are focusing on inclusivity and going broad, trying to encourage others to do the same and create a better world as a result, a better community. Sorry, I had to jump in there, Abigail.
That's fine. We're complete. So group 4.
Okay, perfect.
I would love to hear what Mercedes has to say.
Trying to learn to unmute myself in a timely manner. It's an area of growth for me right now around Zooms. What I appreciated the most, I think, is listening to our group, and I think just the realization that about knowing the self and how we find those connections to others. I think Dale had echoed Michelle's words about how everyone had just wanted to be seen, heard, and held, and that's something that really resonated. That we do. We want to be seen, we want to be heard, and we want to be held. And I was thinking about how many times that it's not just about knowing yourself, but it's also about learning to listen to others, And I think I'm often think about the idea of listening to understand as opposed to listening to respond, because so many times, when we listen, it's around, getting ready to have that interaction, but sometimes, in that, as we prepare ourselves for that, do we just kind of sit back and just really enjoy that interaction, just really listen and be present? So that was just in our group. It was wonderful to listen to just some very enlightening thoughts, and I appreciate the time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The other groups, is that group 4 or 5?
At this point, whoever hasn't spoken, please speak up and give us your opinions.
So if we all have spoken already, we have a special task for you guys. So think about what was discussed and the conclusions that we reached by the end of the meeting today. Take into heart everything that was said and learning from everyone's contributions to the group and the large group. What can we do now, today? What can we do in the upcoming week or weeks to show forth inclusivity and encourage that more in our conversations, in our collaborations with others, and involvement in the community. What are some of those things that we'll do? And try to think about it in your daily conversations, in your daily thoughts, and then send us feedback. You know, we'll email you, we'll keep you updated on what we are doing, and also encouraging your input. And we want to see how you are keeping up with your resolution, with your decision to make the world that we desire, or try to shape it up somehow and make it more inclusive, as was discussed. I really appreciate everyone's participation, and I know that we want to continue our conversations, but for now we want to let you know that we are going to be adjourned, but you can stay on and still partake of the wonderful delights that Steve has prepared for all of us. With that, I will ask for a closing prayer to be said, and then we can continue. We can continue our conversations. Alrighty. So we have a closing prayer by Murata, if you're ready.
Yes, I'm ready, Mehranji. Mehranji, can I get a co-host permission so that I can share a slide so that people can see it?
You should be able to share.
Okay. Okay, so this is the prayer for the world peace, for everybody's peace. And I'm going to say it in Sanskrit, the ancient language, and then I'll say the meaning in English. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramayah Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantum Kaschit Dukkha Bhag Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. The meaning goes, Om, may all be happy, may all be free from illness, may all see what is auspicious, may no one suffer. Om, peace, peace, peace upon all of us. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And with that, we are concluded, but please stay and partake of the wonderful breakfast. So Steve, take it away.
Well, I'm hoping that you have enjoyed what we've done. We want to make sure that you keep in contact with the Poway Interfaith Team with Point. For those of you who are new, we started off as the Poway Interfaith Team in 2005, and that was only people, religious groups in Poway, and that has grown to be over 18 groups throughout the San Diego area, and we call ourselves Point, kind of Poway Interfaith Team, but also way beyond that point. We have a variety of programs each year that start off the year with a Harmony breakfast. We have spring programs the Interfaith Awareness Week in August. We have a Thanksgiving program that's always incredible. We try to include music and different organizations singing and dancing and having a good time. So please eat the food that's on the screen, because otherwise I have to do it for you. Have a wonderful day. Enjoy your perfect health, your perfect life as you have it in front of you. Just know that it's working for you. And thank you for the inclusivity that we are all experiencing today. And I say, Amen.
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 Okay, thanks, Steve.
So, wow. Anybody see something there that they like, or don't all just in and try to grab everything?
I'm
I
virtually
know that I'm
stuck.
hungry. I think I'll start with a coffee.
That's right. Now everyone can unmute yourself so you can chat. You want to share your acai bowl or whatever it may be.
Sorry, I was driving. I'm still driving, everyone, but great.
Oh. Yeah, hi, Yusuf.
I
So did you grab a donut, Yusuf, or a bagel?
I had to grab one of those that didn't make a lot of crumbs because I didn't want to be having crumbs all over me while I'm trying to drive.
You know, there's an old I don't know what you call it, fable or legend about where donuts came from, and it's from the old sailing days or whatever, and there was the sailor who had to be at the helm. You know, there's no autopilots in those days, so you had to have somebody on the wheel, you know, all hours of the day and night. And so it was always a problem. How do you feed the guy up there? And so the cook had this one idea. He made something and he put it so that he could put it down on one of the spokes of the wheel, you know, and then he could just call and eat it while he's navigating. So that's where the legends of where donuts came from.
That's why donuts have holes.
That's right.
That's funny. As a sailor, I can actually picture that. I can.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
But it could fall off when you turn the.
Well, you have them on the other ones there too.
Oh, just stack them all up. Okay.
Yeah.
Is that how the bagels came about too?
Yeah. Those were on the port side.
Thanks for having me. I have to run.
Starboard.
It was a pleasure to meet and see everybody.
Oh yeah, thank you, Jason.
Thanks for being here,
So
Jason.
much. Thank you so much.
And I also want to thank everybody who sent in pictures, because we have everything here from oatmeal to
Breakfast tacos and Slim Fast. Maybe you
Wow.
could have that, Yusuf. Grab a bottle of Slim Fast.
Right.
And I can eat tons of donuts. It's virtual, so no calories,
That's
no
right.
problem. Oh,
And we-
Meenuji, I hope you like something. You are a vegan person. Do you have something of your taste here, Meenuji?
I'm sure the
No,
muffins
I
are
can,
vegan. The fruit is.
Yeah, I can have and bagel and what else?
Oh,
Coffee, of course. This yogurt, Chobani yogurt is my favorite.
Well,
Isn't
and
it-
because it's virtual, I think all the sausage and all the meat things are like beyond and vegan. So that's my choice.
yeah. I'm totally donut person today. I'm like donut.
There is a fun fact about Chobani. I just noticed that Chobani.
Share.
Do you guys know that Chobani is owned by a Turkish immigrant Muslim
Oh,
Yes.
who gives 10% of the gains back to his employees?
Wow.
wow.
Great.
It's
That's
very, very beautiful.
I figured I
company,
would share that since we're talking about compassion and
Yeah, very true.
Beautiful. And they do have dairy-free versions now of Chobani.
Oh.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Wow.
Steve, I've never been ID'd for a breakfast, but I think this one is worth getting ID'd for.
Well, you should see what I have planned for lunch.
You took the continental breakfast to a whole new level. So
To a new continent.
you raised the bar.
Yeah, I know.
Across the continents, he's taken it.
This is gonna become an expectations when we come back. So you better deliver this.
Well, come back for lunch. You'll see what we have.
Here's something interesting from my group that in a breakout group. It was me and 3 Carols. All 3 of them were Carols and me.
Oh.
So
Did they sing to you?
That's what I call them. I call them to myself. I didn't say while I was there, but they're carolers, and it's Yusef and the carolers. So
I love that.
The little doo-wop group.
yeah, Yusef and the 3 carolers. I think that's like a group name.
That was great.
That's a good one, Yusef.
I know. Lucky you. You had a good day today. So, all carolers with you. Beautiful.
I know. You guys will have to perform at our next Harmony breakfast.
I know.
In harmony. Oh.
In our group, we of course talked about to be kind and how we are helping during this pandemic. And myself, I'm Dr. Meenu Sharma. I'm a family physician, but I, these days, but I really appreciate that the people are still sharing their anxiety and the panic, how they should get the vaccine and how they are not able to get it. But we try to tell them that you have to be kind to yourself and kind to others, patient. It is coming. It will come to everyone. But, this is a new thing for us and for everybody. But still, so wherever you go these days, these things are going to touch you. These questions are going to be asked and we have to answer them.
True.
That's a good point. We also have to be kind to our bodies, right? I think God commanded us to be
ourselves.
kind to our bodies. So when you look at the photos in some of these breakfasts here, unfortunately, some of us, well, not me per se, but some of us Americans eat this kind of unhealthy food like on the daily basis in large portions. So we have a high probability of dying from diabetes or a heart attack or cholesterol, or you know what I'm saying, than dying from anything else. So I think it's a time for us as people of faith to remind our communities of what God has taught us, to be kind to our souls and our bodies, and to feed our bodies good things, nutrition, to work on our immune system, to be strong, to defend, because our body, thank God, has an amazing ability to defend itself. But we have to nurture it the right way, spiritually, and also from the nutrition part, which is very important.
Yes, and that connection is so vital. And if those of us who are spiritual realize that the foods that we eat either raise or lower our spiritual vibration, that can give us more incentive to do it for the greater good, in addition to our own personal well-being.
Absolutely. Don't they say what you eat or is what you are or who you are, something like that?
Yeah. What you eat, that's what you become. Yeah, true.
Oh, Isam, I especially put in for you some champagne, but you see it down in the lower left-hand corner, but you have to be 21 and you have to show some ID in order to have it.
I think next to the champagne there is a ginger beer, so I'm good with that one.
That's right, and sparkling apple cider is there, I believe, too. In the
when people tell me you don't drink, I tell them I'm already drunk in life. So you don't want me drinking alcohol.